Hello everyone. Today we will discuss another topic under banking and insurance law. Today we will discuss about nature of banking fraud. We have already covered this topic and the concept of banking fraud. Today we will discuss the nature of banking fraud. The topics to be covered here is concept of banking fraud, definition of banking fraud, elements of banking fraud, nature and causes of banking fraud. So, as we already knew that banking fraud occurs when someone attempts to take funds or other assets from a financial institution or from customer of that institution by posing as a bank official. Bank fraud is a white collar crime often charged at the federal level because it affects the nation's financial institutions. As such, it carries heavy penalties. Facing charges of bank fraud can be a terrifying experience. Bank fraud is the use of potentially illegal means to obtain money, assets, or other property owned or held by a financial institution, or to obtain money from depositors by fraudulently posing as a bank or other financial institution. A deliberate act of omission or commission by any person carried out in the course of a banking transaction or in the books of account maintained manually or under computer system in banks, resulting into wrongful gain or any person for a temporary period or otherwise, with or without any monetary loss to the bank. A dishonest act or behavior through which one person gains or tries to gain an advantage over another, which results in the loss of the victim directly or indirectly, is called fraud. Bank fraud can be defined as an unethical or criminal act by an individual or organization to illegally attempt to possess or receive money from a bank or financial institution. Elements of fraud. The four most important elements for constituting fraud are the active involvement of the staff, failure to follow the instructions and guidelines of the bank by the staff, collusion between businessmen, executives, and politicians to bend the rules and regulations, and any other external factor. Nature of banking fraud. Fraud is a major issue of concern among corporate organizations all over the world, and its occurrence in banks is especially damaging given the image of trust and confidence that banks are expected to portray and exemplify. Banks lose quite a huge amount of money to fraud and fraudulent practices every year, but are reluctant to go public with such fraud related losses in a bid to protect the bank images. A fraud can be of different nature and aspects. The nature of bank fraud can be described as criminal, civil, and financial. Checks, credit cards related frauds are covered under financial nature. Money laundering is considered as a criminal offense. Electronic fraud are covered under civil nature as it affects public at large. Causes of bank fraud. Fraud pervades virtually every facet of society, and consequently, the causes of fraud can be attributed broadly to institutional, social, and personal causes. Following are the causes of bank fraud: institutional and personal causes, societal causes, and other causes. Now, we will discuss all of these causes separately. First of all, let's start with institutional and personal causes. Institutional causes of fraud are those that can be attributed directly to the failure of the bank as an institution to provide adequately for the staff to perform their duties optimally. This may be in the form of lack or inadequate physical infrastructure, defective processes and procedures, inadequate internal control systems and supervision, inadequate staff training, remuneration, compensation, etc. Societal causes. Some of the factors that can be attributed to social and environmental factors why people commit fraud. These factors are they wish to get rich quickly, so they prefer the method of fraud, slow and tortuous legal processes, poverty and widening gap between the rich and the poor, job insecurity. These are the certain factors which can be considered as societal causes for bank fraud. Peer group pressures, societal expectations, increased financial burden on individuals, stiff competition in the banking industry, which saw many banks engaging in fraud so as to meet up in terms of liquidity and profitability. Some other causes are inadequate punishment, slow and distorted legal processes, high level of bribery and corruption, negligence in statutory supervision. So we can conclude that bank frauds are done to make money by cheating the banks. There are several loopholes in the banking system that has been used by fraudsters. Some challenges to a bank are financial loss during any commission of the bank fraud. The bank faces the financial loss and bank becomes liable to secure the money of their customers. Second challenge which a bank faces is the brand image and reputation. Bank fraud usually destroys the brand image and reputation of the banks and financial institutions. Another challenge is that they lose the customer confidence in themselves. After surviving the incident of bank fraud, all the popular or reputed banks loses the confidence of their customers in them. Another challenge is regulator confidence and shareholder confidence. Basically, a bank fraud affects a bank's total working system and its brand image in the society and the market.